Back to the Pope in Washington in a moment. First, though, 60 Minutes putting Donald Trump on the hot seat, asking him questions about, well, his reaction to anti-Muslim comments at a town hall meeting in New Hampshire. Trump defending himself in a clip released before that interview airs in a few days from now.
I don't have to defend President Obama. He's not going to defend me. So whether you agree with the man or don't agree, and there were people in that audience, as you probably noticed, that did agree with him.
It was a testing moment for a man running for president.
I don't think so.
You never know when they're coming.
I don't think so.
But here you...
Ed Rollins, campaign manager for Ronald Reagan in 1984, and Joe Tribune, campaign manager for Howard Dean in 2004. Gentlemen, both Fox News contributors, how you doing?
Good, thank you.
So you guys are like in the middle of all the Pope coverage, okay? So you got to be really, really good, Ed. You too, Joe.
Well, it's kind of ironic to move from one of the most powerful and humble men in the world with the Pope to one of the most egotistical men in the world. But maybe that's what Fox full coverage.
On that, how do you think Trump is handling this? He did not back down. He stuck to his story.
Well, he never backs down. He's a very tough guy, and he basically is very glib. His issue long term is there is no substance, and I think to a certain extent he gets distracted by these sidebar things. He quickly throws out taunts to his opponents, and that becomes part of the garbage that we ended up discussing here. If you really want to talk about substance, which we want as a country to hear from potential future leaders, he is very weak at this point in time, and that's why I think he's getting diminished somewhat in the polls.
But he'd probably say, "Hey, you're asking me about it."
Well, I think
they did.
Well, the critical thing is there's a lot of things you get asked about, but most of these things he's raised himself. He could have easily cut that off to say that's not it. The president is the leader of this country. He has said he's a Christian. It's an inappropriate question. Let's move on. Let's talk about serious things.
All right. But Joe?
Yeah, look, I think the problem here is that a large number of the people who follow Trump believe this about the president. And so it's in his interest to not tell them they're wrong. He's actually playing to that. That's what's gotten him part of that's what's gotten him in the lead. The same thing with his position on immigration, deport all 11 million of them, build the wall and get, I mean, everything that he does is actually gelling. Now, by the way, there are independents and Democrats who believe some of these things too. I'm not saying that, but a big, pretty sizable, whether it's 25, 30% of the Republican primary vote sort of has these same views. And what's interesting is
sorry, Joe, bring it back to Donald Trump here. In that interview, Scott Pelley called the guy a bigot. And Trump said, you don't know that.
No, but Bill, what I'm saying is, so asking Trump these questions, he's going to keep pushing back because that helps him. The real issue is, is anybody else going to step up in the party and challenge Trump directly on these things?
Now we got to the question. Ed, does anyone do that?
Absolutely. Listen, this is a game. I've been doing this game for 50 years. It's about addition. You add people to your team. You add people to your coalitions. When you're out calling people names, whether it's your own side or others, you're driving people away. And so far, Donald Trump has offended Hispanic voters. He's now offended Muslim voters. And there's no clarity to what he's saying. Obviously, there's a small base in our party that isn't very happy about it. But I would argue very strenuously that there are serious people running for president. They're going to talk about issues, and they're going to force him to talk about issues, or he's going to get diminished.
So to both of you then, and this for Club for Growth, apparently they're cracking on Trump pretty hard. On screen for our viewers, Trump has advocated higher taxes numerous times over many years, just like he's advocated for universal health care. Do we have it or not? We don't? Okay, I'll read it. The Wall Street bailout and expanded government powers to take private property. Trump's own statements prove that our ads are accurate, end quote. On that point, Joe, he's pushing back hard.
Yeah, no, he's going to keep pushing back hard. That's my point. I think the more he pushes back, the more his vote coalesces around him and hardens. I agree with Ed. The problem for him is how does he expand beyond any of this? The name calling and these things, it may get him to where he is. It is a small but not majority of the party at all. And so, he's getting now into fights with pillars within the party, or groups within the party that actually have some standing. It'll be interesting. Okay. I don't think he grows either. but can he?
Okay,
You know,
all right, right on. I mean, talk about growth. I mean, here's your massive potential for growth, gentlemen. What a summer it has been as we move in the fall. A slight dip toward the end, but a long way to go. Trump said the other day himself, he said, this is a long battle, and it's a long fight. Gentlemen, thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Back to your humble selves you go. Thank you, Ed.
That's the first time
you,
we've
Joe.
either one of us ever been accused of that. Thank you.
You're absolved.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys.